Hello, welcome to Umoja mini presentation, Workflow. This video will explain the concept of workflow in Umoja and its significance in ensuring that requests for action, review, and approval are routed to the appropriate transactional users. The relevance of workflow to the mapping of enterprise roles in Umoja will also be discussed. Workflow is a sequence of steps that are processed either by people or by the system. It is the process by which documents move from a request to approval functionality. Workflow links together the work according to the separate business tasks in a business process. Moreover, it provides an active flow of information within the system. It supplies the right information at the right time to the right people in line with business rules. It also enables exception handling and deadline monitoring. Workflow defines how requests are routed in the system for action and approval. The aim of workflow is to send requests only to the transactional users who can take the appropriate actions on those requests. Thus, it is necessary for transactional users to be mapped to the correct enterprise role or roles and configured in workflow tables, of which key inputs include fund, fund center, and approval authority. A transactional user who has the correct enterprise role, but whose workflow is not configured, will not be able to act on, review, or approve requests. For foundation roles, workflow tables are both manually created and maintained in order to activate the workflow of requests and documents for action, review, and approval. In contrast to the foundation roles, the workflow for extension roles is automatically enabled through organizational assignment. The combination of enterprise roles and organizational assignment enables workflow, self-service, displaying of, and reporting of transactions to take place. This combination also allows the users who are mapped to an enterprise role to perform their system activities. Here is an example of high-level workflow in action in Umoja Extension 1. To enable workflow, the following conditions must exist. All staff members, number 1 here, must be identified with an organizational entity. A group of HR partners, number 2 here, must be assigned to the same organizational entity. When the staff member submits a request through employee self-service, the system routes the request to the assigned HR partners. One of them will then be able to pull out the staff member's request from the inbox and act on it. This is an example of a workflow on the creation and approval of leave requests in Umoja. Here, a staff member would create a leave request, which is then routed to the time manager for approval. When approved, the time entry is then processed and recorded in Umoja. Keeping leave requests as an example, this is how workflow functions in the context of organizational structure. As you see here, there is a time manager for Department A, and all staff members below the time manager submit their leave requests to him or her. This is true for staff in either section or any of the units within the sections. But if the organizational structure changes and a second time manager is assigned for Section 2, then the workflow for leave requests also changes with the organizational assignment. In this case, staff members in Section 2 would submit leave requests to the time manager of Section 2. Staff members in the units below Section 2 would also submit their leave requests to this second time manager. However, the workflow for staff in Section 1 remains the same. Leave requests go to the time manager of the department. The time manager of Section 2 has no authority over the leave requests for staff in Section 1, unless, of course, one of the managers themselves were to go on leave. In that case, Umoja allows the designation of a secondary time manager for the duration of the primary time manager's absence. This completes our mini presentation on workflow in Umoja. Thank you for watching.